everyone. Welcome back to part 2 of our special birthday episode of the Counteract podcast. Last week we kind of went over like the origin story of Counteract, and now we're talking about like what's next for Counteract. So thanks so much for joining us. This episode, as always, is brought to you by the Herzog Foundation. And that's kind of been like the theme of what we've seen God do through Counteract, is that he just provides everything. Mm-hmm. We were talking to our board, I don't know if it was the last board meeting we had or the one before that, but it was kind of just this question that was thrown out, like we were talking about budgets, etc., logistical things. And then we kind of just realized, like, there has been nothing, like zero things in the last however many years, like, again, timeline based on that, when we had that meeting. Zero things that we felt like God has wanted us to do with Counteract USA that we've been unable to do because of funds. Like, he has provided absolutely everything we needed. Allie was there was okay. One of Allie's stories that she brought up for this episode.
2020, Christmas 2023. And this is like, okay, first year we're trying to do any sort of end of year campaign. And Abby and I were talking, and we're like, we really need, like, I think it was like $12,000.
We had been praying. I was praying, like, Lord, like, what do we need to cover? So we were praying specifically for $12,000.
$12,000. Like, that would cover everything we needed for the next little bit. And it was like, okay, very specific number, 12,000. So we're working towards this goal, and we're, sending the emails and sending the texts and making the little Instagram videos that are so hard to make. I can't ever get those right.
And they're funny. They're awkward.
And embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then I'm over at her house on like New Year's Eve, and I'm like, okay, we're close to our goal. We have a little over, like, I think it was like maybe 10,800, something around there, and we're like, we're still about $1,200 short. So I kept like refreshing our giving page and seeing like, okay, when's this last little bit gonna come, because it was very specific. Mm-hmm. And then midnight hits, and I'm like, okay, well, good job, we got close.
Maybe the Lord didn't want us to have that number.
We were close, but I kept thinking, like, now where is it? Like, we really do have these specific needs, and like, again, like, I really believe that the Lord will provide for this, and not in a like prosperity gospel, name it, claim it, very real, like, we're doing everything we know to do. These are our needs, and we really feel like the Lord, like, if he wants us doing it, he has to be the provider. Yep. And then Abby was like, you know what, I need a room reset. They had some things going on, and she was gonna,
I had like family coming to stay like
for
long term in my room. So like just stuff had to be like completely gutted. Like everything had to be like reorganized, upended.
She got a bunk bed.
I still have the bunk bed. It kind of works if people need to come crash. If people need to come crash.
We're cleaning her room. It's taking us days to like, because we're like organizing everything, getting rid of like how many trash bags.
We're trying to put a whole new person
with their stuff
in
everything.
my room.
And Abby said, oh yeah, here's this letter. I don't even know when it came in. It's for Counteract. You can open it. It's probably just trash.
We get spam weird mail all the time. And I told Allie.
All I said was, did you open it? She's like, no. And I'm like, Abby, look at the way this letter is. It looks like maybe a little bit.
No, we get weird mail. Like, we get really weird, like, solicitor mail. To my house. Not even to,
So I open it, and it's a check for like $1,200. And it like completely fixes like everything we need, and it's dated back to November 30th.
It was like a letter from like Walmart. Like,
it was a grant we had applied for. And she was like, oh yeah, here you go. So I was like, okay, so yes, the money was in, and the Lord did provide, and like,
yeah.
So anyway,
we have learned to just give all mail to Allie.
Just go ahead and open it
immediately. I just didn't give it to Allie. Speaking of we at some point got a P.O. box because, moving up in the world. Yeah. And Allie was like, will you look at this form? I was like, why would I need to look at this form? Like, the information.
We used to, also at the very beginning, we were double checking absolutely everything. Like, I did not send a text, an email, nothing without her looking. She would always be sending me stuff. I'm like, looks great. Like, it was so.
So I was like, why would I look over this form? Like, it's just Counteract USA, and it's like where we live, like, whatever. So, no, just look it over. I was like, well, Allie, this is great because our P.O. box was about to be to Counteract USA. Countercat. Because that, right. Allie, you can't.
Totally can meow.
Yeah. And then one of our members' grandma always calls Counteract cataract, which I understand. because sometimes it sounds like Counteract to me too.
She's like, are you going to that Cataract meeting tonight?
Which I unironically call it Counteract often.
It works. It fits.
It's, whatever. It's like this is what we do, this is what, like, who we are. But yeah, no, it's just been it's been a crazy 4 years. To think that it's only been 4 years, but to think that it's already been 4 years is like simultaneously alarming and also just amazing, because it does feel like, whoa, this has been a long time, but also feels like, wait a minute, this has already been 4 years. And so, Allie, what are some of just a couple of your favorite memories, moments of the last 4 years?
There's a lot of good ones. I know we were talking about some of our favorite tabling stories.
Oh man,
those are too fun.
Tabling stories. It's like a whole different genre.
Like if you know.
Yeah. You always talk about there's this Monsters University, or Monsters Inc. I don't even know. Monsters at Work. Shorts. Oh yeah, the shorts, like Monsters at Work or something on Disney. My brothers were watching it while we were on a road trip one time, and there was one episode where they were tabling at an event, and I laughed so hard because again, it's
too accurate.
If you know, and I sent it to Allie, and she was like, "Oh my gosh,"
I felt it.
Felt it.
I was like, relate to this monster. No, but those have been some of we've met some of our best friends, I would say. And
trauma bonding.
Yeah, within the movement this way, and different, some of our even partner organizations now. You get set up next to each other, you get to know them pretty well over the course of a few days.
You get really good at your pitch.
Yeah, you do. You just give it 100 times a day. One time we were set up to next, this one group, and they just start singing.
Bust out full song. And it's you don't know what to do because it's they're 4 feet away from you, so you don't know whether to
pretend you don't hear it,
or watch, or I don't know
with them.
The song. I don't know the song. It's not like I can join in. It's
People start pulling up their phones, and you're like, that's kind of weird.
I'm gonna just my favorite. Yeah. My favorite was you have what we call the reverse tablers, where it's people who didn't pay for a booth, they didn't pay for a table, but they're going to go market their materials to you. Allie loves to remember the guy with his business cards in a
fanny pack. Fanny pack. He's wearing a suit, tie, fanny pack, business
full
cards.
Of business cards, and he was scatter these set of 50 business cards on the floor of a church, and Allie was like, not probably won't.
And then it takes them to this website, and then from there they get free resources and also my information.
And some of these people are very well intentioned, but it's so you do not know what to do. My favorite was one time we were at this event, we were tabling, this guy hands us a full book, and this is not unusual. We're gonna start a bookshelf of books we've been given. Some of them are really great, and we love these books. Others are who even came up with this idea and then approved it for publishing. But this guy hands us this book, and it was this is the origins of COVID.
No, first he's like, do you know how COVID started?
Oh my gosh.
He gets really quiet and in your face. Do you know how COVID started? Yeah.
Sure. No, I don't. He's like, no, you don't. I'm like, no, I don't. And so then he hands a book to me. I'm holding the book, and I'm like, thank you. And I'm about to put it in the pile of stuff we will throw away later that we've been handed throughout the day. And he's like, and that will be $20. And it's what do you what do? You have to
take
physically hand it back. That's such a crazy strategy, but more power to the guy. So Charlotte Airport is just a special place to us because somehow it does not matter where we are going in the entire United States of America, it will connect us.
CLT will be on
CLT.
That list.
And so, favorite is the Jamba Juice there at CLT. We get the white gummy. Have we ever tried anything else? Nope.
No need to.
Nope. We like the white gummy. What's in it? I don't know. That's what my friend Faith Ozenbaugh and Paige Nelson told me to get one time, and we don't have Jamba Juice down south. So, or where we are anyway. So, yep, that's all we get. But the Annie Ann's in the CLT airport, this is probably, for me and my trust issues and friendship, etc. Probably the moment where Allie and I truly became friends because the lady taking our order.
I think this happened in 2023.
I'm just kidding. But it was just so funny because that girl, she took forever, and she was just so curious. She was like, are you guys on a work trip? And we were like, yes, we are. And she was like, are you friends? Yes. Are you best friends? Yeah, probably. Like, can we have our pretzels? Like, can we have our pretzels now? But, you know.
We just, like, turned away. We walked away.
A marker of our friendship, you know, truly.
Hey everyone, I am so excited to share some big news. Counteract USA is now a part of the Herzog Foundation Podcast Network. If you're new to the Herzog Foundation, they're all about advancing Christian education and empowering families, educators, and leaders to boldly stand for biblical truth. Just like us at Counteract USA, they believe in counteracting the ever-changing political and cultural tides with grace and unwavering faith. Through this partnership, we're even more equipped to have meaningful conversations about the issues shaping our generation, always through the lens of Scripture. So what does this mean for you? Even more thought-provoking episodes, incredible resources, and a growing community of believers striving to make a difference. We're thrilled to be a part of the Herzog Foundation family, and we're just getting started. So go check out the Herzog Foundation Podcast Network. And to learn more about the Herzog Foundation and their mission, visit herzogfoundation.com. Let's keep standing firm together in faith.
After our summers in DC, we hadn't seen each other for like 8 weeks or so. And we like run into like the same room because we have to get on a Zoom call. And we were on the Zoom call, and there was no like, hi, hug, good to see you. Like, I don't think I've ever hugged Allie in my life. Like, that seems like a crazy thing to even do. Not happening. But we did get on the Zoom call immediately, and it was just, oh my gosh. Like, you know the Zoom calls where you have to like dip out of the screen real quick? It was one of those. It was, you know.
Tickled us in a funny way. It was good.
It was good. It was a good call, but it was still really funny. But yeah, no, it's just, it is like, it's so fun that like what we get to do. Like we, you know, it's a lot, and people are like, are you tired? It's like, oh yeah, of course. Like it's like we love what we do. Like we love that the Lord has allowed us to get to be a part of what he's doing in Counteract USA and the people that he's bringing onto our team. And so for like, what's next for Counteract? I mean, there are so many more stories. Like I love the stories of like one of our girls from Northwest Arkansas. She's one of my favorites to talk about because she went from one of my theater students who didn't have community. I was like, hey, come check out this group. You'll at least like the girls. And now she's done like every internship and program like in the country. She's
I keep
in
losing
DC
her to everybody
right
else. I'm like,
this girl will run the White House one day. Like that's so fun because she just like the Lord just like ignited this passion within her, and it's like so cool to watch him move in her life. Or even like at the beginning of Counteract, I invited Allison Lind, who was I don't even know if she was like very new Christian at this point, but still had like been more of a liberal, like moderate Christian, and growing up had been kind of like a Christian in name only, and like you can listen to her testimony on episodes of the Counteract podcast. But I invited her to come to Counteract, and is this whole thing like leading up to that point, and she showed up, but no one else did, and I was like, well, this is gonna tank out, and this thing isn't gonna last. And the Lord just used that conversation that turned into like a 4-hour-long conversation walking around the park nearby the coffee shop to really just, I don't know, like mine and Allison's friendship was just kind of forged through that conversation. And so I'm just grateful to the Lord that he uses what I think is a failure, or I think is just a missed opportunity, or again, like I literally thought, well, this isn't going anywhere. And that is one of the most fruitful conversations that the Lord has ever brought about in Counteract USA to this day. And so there's so many testimonies of like what he's done and what he's doing through cell leaders and cell members across the country, and just this like the hunger and desire for like deeper truth, deeper conversations about the truth of the Word of God. And so what's next for Counteract? There's a lot of things. Part of it is our new cells team and the curriculum they're working on. I don't know if you want to kind of share that. Allie's sister is kind of heading up our new cells team.
Yeah, our cells team, the people we've had since the beginning, awesome. But they both got married / getting married to people within Counteract, which is
the goal.
So good.
That's the goal.
But now, obviously, we just spend more time focusing on their new family units. And so in this kind of transition season, we were just praying like, okay, Lord, who's next? And my sister is currently in seminary because she loves writing and wanted to do more with writing, but she also loves discipleship ministry, and she already leads a high school cell. And I just was like, okay, Lord, like, is it Lydia, my sister? And I asked her when I was like, hey, how do you feel? What do you think? She's like, yes, I would love to take over the cell
Which is
program.
crazy because, like, early on, Lydia was like, I just don't think that the Lord's calling me to be on the Counteract team. And I was like, that's fine. Like, that's fine. Like, no one, like, totally just do whatever God wants you to do. Like, anyway, so I was so shocked.
She was like, yes, that's exactly, like, every single aspect of, like, the Lord's been calling me to is this, like, this one job description. And then it was, okay, well, how can we actually, like, also fill this team? Because we are doing a lot more curriculum writing and developing now. So how do we,
Our curriculum is our discussion guides, just for context for, people, if you're listening to the podcast but, like, aren't intimately involved with Counteract. Our discussion guides are, like, resources for our cell leaders. So it moves every discussion through breaking down a topic, relating it to culture, taking it to scripture, and then looking at the application. So you're developing this, like, process, the skill set of biblical critical thinking within the course of a conversation. And so a cell leader can choose to use the curriculum that we provide or the discussion guides that we provide, or they can plug in a topic to that formula. But the curriculum team has been really diligent to really be developing that. And Lydia has been the foundational aspect component driver of that. So yeah,
she's been heading it up. And then Abby's brother, who's also in seminary, was like, no,
same seminary.
Yeah. It's like, I too want to, like, help write.
Which is also weird.
Yeah, because he too, like, they were both ones were like, nah, it's kind of your thing. We were like, don't really. And then now they're like, no, this is, again, we feel like this is where the Lord has us. And then another girl who's been coming to the NWA cell for years now has been huge and just so on board to help. And she's our new cell coordinator. And then we have a new position, our church outreach director, where we're going to start working with more churches and implementing this curriculum into small groups. And so the whole
the whole team basically just like, okay, like, as the Lord has, like, scaled and built Counteract, it's like Allie and I can only do so much. So, like, Lord, you're gonna have to provide team members, primarily volunteers, like, as we continue to grow into like a fundraising cycle, as we're navigating how in the world do you do fundraising, because like, how do you do that? But the Lord just again continues to provide. So, like, this team has come together. And they could not be more perfect for the roles.
Huge answer to prayer.
Huge answer to prayer. And the Lord has just paved the way for all of it. So we're super excited about seeing our cells program expand. It would allow us to build more cells across the country and also equip our leaders to the best of our ability, as best as we can, to lead discussions, to build these communities, to be informed and engaged on how to apply biblical truth to these conversations. And so that's huge. We'll talk about our conference more on an episode in a couple of weeks, which is so exciting. Allie and I love events. They also terrify us, but it's, like, kind of one of those things where it's like, you do hard things, you do scary things for, like, the adrenaline of it.
I don't know why. I truly don't.
For us, it's like we know it's what God is asking us to do as an element of our ministry, but we're always like, why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we do this to ourselves? So we'll talk more about that on another episode. But yeah, Allie, what are you looking forward to next as we kind of wrap to close?
Next? I don't know. Like, truly, I've kind of learned to just, again, make plans, but let, God order your steps. And so
kind of roll with it. Yeah.
So I almost hesitate to say an answer, but I think I'm just truly excited for what this summer and just kind of what the rest of the year will bring, because I know the Lord will do great things through the people that he's brought on this team.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Allie and I will be on the road a lot this summer, so you can follow us on Instagram. We usually get into, like, little silly vloggy moods where we're just kind of documenting what's going on, what we're doing. So you can follow us on social media. You can stay up to date on what's going on with Counteract USA by subscribing to our newsletter at counteractusa.org. Obviously, follow us on social media. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes open for more details and information about the conference. And just be praying for what God is doing here for the cell leaders, for just whatever the Lord wants, whatever the Lord wills. That's what we want. So we're just kind of trying to operate in wisdom and surrender and diligence as we move forward. So we're just super excited. We're, like, thankful, like, that Counteract has made it 4 years, and we're excited to see what the Lord does in year 5. So thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the Counteract podcast. The views and opinions expressed in this episode are mine and Allie's and Counteract's and do not necessarily reflect those of the Herzog Foundation. Allie, any last words for Counteract's birthday?
Happy birthday.
See you next time.